Hello, everyone. This is Vicky Hacking. I'm ambassador, the English team, and I have been with Jaffa for 61 years. And I am so excited to be with you tonight because we have a special guest. We have someone that we've been waiting for a year. So we're really happy that she has finally arrived. So Nell Prentess is our new director of sales for the English market. And we're so happy that she would join us tonight. We want to get to know her. And what we're doing is we're having everyone join us. But what we're going to do is we're going to be able to use the chat tonight. So as we talk to her, and my one of my dear friends and Jaffa leaders and someone that's been by my side for a long time, I think 40 years. Anyway, she is going to be the one that will be conducting most of the interview. I might butt in a few times with a question, but then what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the chat all evening. So after Nell and Darylee are done with their back and forth, then what we're going to do is we're going to take questions and we're going to look at the take tonight. Be involved in the chat, okay? Put down what questions you want us to ask her. Put down what you want to see maybe happen in the English market. Give her suggestions, what you see the needs for, things like that, okay? So again, I want to remind everybody that we have a WhatsApp and I will put in the chat the invitation. If you don't belong to my WhatsApp team, you might consider joining. And what we do on that WhatsApp team is we just have a lot of wonderful people and leaders in Jafra that help everybody. So if you have questions and you need help, it's not a place to sell products. We do not ask you to sell products on our WhatsApp, but you can go there and ask questions, business questions that might help you. The other thing that we have that's very unique is we have a wonderful YouTube video channel. Okay, when you go to youtube.com, all you have to do is put in Vicky Hacking, or you can put in Jafra VH, my initials, and you will be taken to my YouTube channel. We have over 300 training videos of meetings that we have held over the past, I don't know how many years, Darylee, 4 or 5 years. But we have a lot of training videos that are there. And you can put in anything you want. Like, let's say you want to know about a perfume party, or you want to know about sampling, or whatever your subject is. Just put it in and see what YouTube turns up on my channel and hear from some of the best leaders in Jafra sharing their best way to present the products. So again, this is Vicky Hacking. Join me on my WhatsApp. Join me on watching our YouTube. Every week tape these. We don't tape them every week, but every week you can count on us, unless it's a holiday, that we're going to be on the Hive live at 5 Pacific time. And it's always on this channel. You can see the invitation here. So I would take that number or that link and I would put it somewhere that on your computer so that therefore you could just click on it when it's Monday night and say, oh, the Hive's on tonight. Just click it and it'll take you right in to be with us. So again, Darylee, why don't you introduce yourself and then why don't you talk to Nell? Thank
Okay,
you, Darylee.
thank you. Well, I'm Darylee Carlisle. I am in Utah, in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I've been in Jaffa since 1982 and been a manager since 1986 with the very first JTI that we ever had. So that's a little bit about me. So, Nell, welcome to the general market. And because we like to just get familiar with you, would you just tell us like where you were born, where you were raised, and just start at the beginning?
Well, thank you, everyone, and it's an honor to be here. And I was just chatting with Vicky before earlier today about her channel, and I actually watch a lot of videos there. I the last one today I was watching was Cheryl Sykes, and the video that she did not very long time ago. But anyway, I'm so glad to be at Jafra. You know, got here as soon as I can. I know you all have been looking. I know Linda says they've been looking for someone for the English market a long time, and I'm just really blessed to have that opportunity to be here and be part of the Jafra team. So I am Nell Prentess, and I currently live in Texas, although I have resided for a long time, over 35 years in California, up in San Francisco Bay Area, in a town called Dublin. That's where my husband and I raised our kids, and moved to Texas in 2020. I was born and raised in the Philippines, and came here when I was really young, and um, migrated here. And my life in direct selling started really in uh, the late 1990s. I was working with someone in an aerospace company, and she got a job, and that job she went to was Shackley, and she hasn't been there for a long time. And she called me, and she said it was actually I was sitting at someone's desk, and she called that desk, and I answered the desk, and I said, I said, hey, how's your new job going? And I had no idea what Shackley is, and or direct selling or network marketing. I think the extent of my knowledge was probably Avon. Avon was in the Philippines, and I remember my mom had a lady, Avon lady, that came and sold her those little lipsticks. We loved it, back then in the good old days. Anyway, she got me a job. I applied for a job at Shackley, and I started really as a admin assistant, executive assistant to the head of marketing, and had no idea what the company is about. But as I got into it a few days and weeks later, I realized that it was an industry in itself. And just like Jafra's, Shackley is 70 years old company, just like Jafra, founded on the same year. Their product line is a little bit different. They do have some skincare, but it's mostly were founded on supplements and green, cleaning, home cleaning products. And but I love this industry. When I stayed with Shackley for 16 years and really learned a lot, embraced the whole concept of direct selling. I really love the idea of network marketing and direct selling. I believe it gives everybody an opportunity. So I call it an equalizer. Because anybody that wants to that has the determination to grow, to become an entrepreneur, you don't need to have a big capital startup, unlike franchising. You just need to have a determination and the grit, not to quit, to start this business. And anybody with that kind of discipline and determination can really succeed in this business. I really like that about it, because I think you don't have to have a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD. You don't have to have the right last name. You don't have any, your background don't define you when you come into this business. It is just really an opportunity that offers true freedom to anybody that wants to grow themselves. What I also love about it is because it's almost like an MBA in itself. You join the business, you grow, you learn how to work the business, but not by yourself. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself, because you have a brand that backs you up. You have an upline and a community of people, like-minded people who are supporting you as you grow your business and achieve different levels of success. So that's what I like about it. And I've spent over 20 years, probably 25 years, close to 25 years in this industry. And my journey has taken me actually across the US and into the Asia global market. I went back to the Philippines in 2015 because my husband is a pastor, and we've been working with a children's ministry literacy program there. And he felt like it was time for us to move there and do that full time. And That's the reason I left Shackley after 16 years. But when I got to the Philippines, another network marketing company that has a market in the Philippines, it's called Neolife. GNLD was their previous name. They were already there, and a colleague of mine that's working for them found that I was in the Philippines and talked to the owner and said, hey, they were going to close that market that runs Manila, Philippines, and Singapore, and said, I just found out Nell is there. You might want to talk to her, and she might be able to help. So you don't have to close that market. They've been there 21 years by the time I got there, and it was really sad that either with wrong people running it or stuff like that. I don't really know, but the whole 21 years history, I just know they were on a negative side and they were about to close with 25 employees in the Philippines. And so I had that opportunity. We just got there, and my husband says, "Go ahead if you want to work," because my husband knows how much I love this. It's not even a job to me; it's a joy for me to do this. With different people, different companies. So he said, "Go ahead and work," and as we're just started and things like that. And so I worked for them for 3 years running the Singapore and the Philippine market. And I'm telling you, through all of that, one belief has gotten stronger in me that I really, really believe in this industry. The direct selling network marketing model has outlasted trends. I was at the Direct Selling Association 100-year celebration in 2010. Shackley hosted it in San Francisco, 100 years. And we honored Avon at that time for being over 100 years. So here's the strength of this industry is that longevity of the industry where trends have come and gone. We're still here in the US and actually worldwide. And why is that? Why is this industry so very strong, so very stable? That it outlasted, if you think about it, during Depression and different wars, it still outlasted all of those challenges. And you know why? Because in this industry, we really offer something we offer to people something that's very, very rare, and that is real freedom. This is a business where your background doesn't define you. You don't need, like I said, any specific degrees, even skills, on day one. If you're willing to put in the work, bring the discipline, have endurance when challenges come, and they will. We know that. Anyone can make it in this business, and this business can work for them. At its core, network marketing, as you know, and as demonstrated to you every day by Miss Vicky Hacking, this is a leadership business. We don't just sell products; they're selling. But when people say, "Is that you the one that does that pyramid selling?" They're not incorrect. They're just simply incomplete. Because in this business, there's selling involved, but we build people and we grow leaders. And my goal is always simple, even here at Jafra. I'm here to help you reach your goals and realize your dreams. I believe that's the pleasure of this, the joy or the job that I have. And coaching is part of them, and I believe in that coaching should be a pleasure, not pressure. Nobody wants to be in a pressure, right? And as you do that, you'll develop into the leader this business needs. Leaders are not born, they're made, right? And so I bet I had a good long conversation with Miss Vicky. And when she started, I don't think she saw herself as a leader, but the leader in her emerged quite, suddenly, because it's always been in there. And Jafra, her partnership with Jafra helped develop that into the leader that she is today. And so that's what I'm all about. I love this industry. I love what I do. And when you love what you do, it's never work, because you love doing it. And so I've seen it happen over and over again. this formula that when you combine with action, belief with action, you can achieve anything that you've set your mind to. So I'm so grateful to be here. I forgot to say, I currently live in Texas, outside of Austin, north of Austin. So I'm in the middle of the country. I think that was a very good sort of a line on my resume because of the English market is, from east to west coast, north to south. And so being in the middle of the country is very strategic. And that's what I'm all about. So I'm ready to roll up my sleeves with you, learn from you, and let's build together. I believe in your potential. Jafra believes in your potential. And so we all have potential, and it's just a matter of tapping and maximizing that potential. And this relationship of having, Jafra support you, the corporate office, me support you, Miss Vicky support you. Who can lose with that, right? With that kind of support, with that kind of experience behind you. And so let's build, your dreams together. And I really believe that you're going to make a tremendous impact in the people around you. And that's what it's all about. The best life. I was talking to Miss Vicky and how she's doing her mission. I really believe that the best life is a life that makes a difference in someone else's life. That's the richest kind of life we could ever live, and make an impact, to the people in the community around us. So I know that's kind of long and it's a little bit more thing, but I think I kind of have to open up my heart to all of you. That's what I'm all about. I really, I believe that you're the expert in this business, but I do have some experience I would like to bring to the table. And with all of that combined together, I think we could make some beautiful, great, and wonderful things for Jafra, today and the months and the years ahead. Back to you, Darylee.
Darylee, yes. Okay, I'm curious to know how you were introduced to Jafra. Did you know it before you came to the company, or give us some?
That's a great question. Thank you. No, I wasn't in. The only thing I know about Jafra is I've known Jafra because Jafra has been around a long time. And back in I want to say it's 2018, when I was in the Philippines, running the market for Neolife. One of the people I worked with at Shackley actually left Shackley and went to Jafra. And he was the VP for, I think, international sales. His name is Clint McKinley. We worked together. He wasn't very long at Shackley, but we worked together in Shackley. And he was, we keep in touch. When you work for corporate, you do a lot of, working together. And that's before remote, right? When you work in the office, you go to lunch together, you go hold up in meeting rooms all day and stuff, travel together and stuff. So Clint went to Jafra, and I remember him sending me a message. He was in Indonesia. He opened Indonesia. This is before Jafra obviously was purchased by Betterware. And so he said, "Hey, I'm working for Jafra. I'm here in Indonesia." He says, "Just great people, And so I said, "Wow, I've always heard of Jafra, strong company, really, really deep roots and stuff." And he says, "Oh yeah, they're great." All that. He just, sing the high praises for Jafra. He said his wife loved the products and all that stuff. So that's kind of my introduction in Jafra. However, when in LinkedIn, I think most of you know what that is. I've always been there. I have a profile there, and I just had in my heart before the job posting came. I haven't really updated my resume for a long time, and one day I just kind of have it, coming up in my heart. Update your resume. Update your resume. And so I did. I felt it was like a divine voice to me. And I did. And then the minute I updated my resume, I think it's the next day that job posting came. And I thought, well, my gosh, that's great. Jafra needs a field development manager. I applied, but I couldn't have done that if I did not update my resume. I would have let it go. You know, posting on LinkedIn is very, very, not very long. Um, and so I did. And I think they called me like within a week, I got a call from them. And, you know, I was interviewed by HR, and then I was interviewed by Linda. And then, you know, I was interviewed by Maria. So I believe that what I have to offer and my heart, you know, in this interview, when they talked to me, it resonated with them that, you know, I would be a great fit for, you know, for Jafra, and the rest is history.
Okay, so what is it? Oh, I just lost my train of thought. Well, what is your job description? So tell us exactly what your job
Yeah.
yeah is.
Well, that's easy. You know, the bottom line is to help grow the English or the general market, you know, because this is what it's all about. You know, in this business, we have to grow, right? We have to grow. We have to, we have to maintain that legacy from the beginning of Jafra. And we grow in two ways. You know, you have to have recruiting and sales. And so that's really where I come in as a support, you know, for the leaders of Jafra. And so how do we accomplish that? You know, obviously we have a whole team behind you. I may be the tip of the spear, but there's really a whole lot of people behind. There's the marketing team, you know, there's the sales team, events team that really we come together and think of ways, you know, how to um, you know, promotions and things like that, you know, opportunity and things like that, you know, for all of our team leaders, all of our consultants, you know, to be able to grow their business. You know, promotions every month is um, is is a staple for any company in this industry. When promotions or new product launches and things like that, those are all staple, you know, for any industry. And why is that? Because you know what, it creates as a stimulus for you to connect with people, to tell people about what's new and all that. Because this is a business of connections, and your network of people that you talk to, they may not be under you, but you've talked to them, you've touched them, they know you, you've exchanged numbers and all of that. Your network is really your net worth in this business. So we have to have that mindset that, you know, sometimes some of the connections may not be a sign up right away, a join right away, but you keep them in your network, because later on there's a connection that's already made there. There's a seed that's been planted there. And so, you know, it's very important that we do that. And some of the things that we offer, promotions, you know, specials and things like that, um, you know, those are things that encourages you to keep in touch with your team, keep in touch with your downline, keep in touch with your inactive people. I don't know if you probably the leaders have received an email on a promotion for activating people that have been inactive or haven't placed an order, you know, prior to January 2026. And let me know if you have received that email, because that's a good way to reconnect with people and things like that. So yes, that's the bottom line, is to grow the English market with recruiting and, of course, you know, selling products.
Okay, so when you were introduced to Jeffrey and you came in, and I'm going to assume it's been a couple of months. How long has it been since?
Started really on May 11.
Oh, okay, so not that
I,
long.
I accepted the job the week before, and they said, well, can you start next week? And I said, sure, I can start next week. So which is May 11. It's a Monday after Mother's Day. And they said, they can you come to New Orleans? And I said, yeah. You know, I really felt like a strong connection, you know, talking to Linda, talking to Maria, you know, and I told them, hey, I want to hit the ground running. You know, I'm at a part of my life, you know, people have, you know, other maybe people that work in this job, they have family to raise and things like that. It just so happened at this stage of my life, all my kids are grown. It's just my husband and I. I was telling Maria, we didn't even get another dog when we put away our dog because I kind of thought I want to focus on my work. And it's hard for and if I have free time, I like my husband and I to travel or do stuff. And it was hard, heartbroken when when your dog, your part of your family, it's so hard to kind of imagine, should I go through that again? Should I go get a puppy and train the puppy and all that stuff? I sort of want to be a minimalist with my personal life. I have one son and daughter-in-law that lives here. We have 3 grandkids with them. We see them on the weekend. But overall, I've really unloaded a lot of things because I really want to be able to focus on what I do, make an impact, on the people, help them as much as they can. I just want to kind of like minimalize my life and not have to think about, oh, I can't go because you know what, I have to take my puppy at the vet or stuff like. I just, I just want to clear the deck, focus, and because I know what we can accomplish when we focus.
Okay, and so what was very impressive to you as far as the company? Was it the leadership? Was it, and the products? What kind of products do you like? Have you just really fell in love with?
Yeah, so the what impressed me about it is the longevity. In this industry, there's really very, very few that is as long as, Jafra, or in the over 50-year mark, right? Over 50-year mark. What does that mean when a company has been in business for that long? That means they have good people in this industry. They have good people, good leaders, and good products. That's the combination. Because there's a lot of network marketing company that pops up like mushroom left and right. And if you are keeping abreast with the industry, you'll see it here and there, and then there's also businesses that close after a while, not been in the industry very long. We call them, they get beach whale, they just find themselves on the beach. And so, what does that mean when that happens? They don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the leaders, they don't have the good product. Product is really important. When a company is has longevity as Jafra, they've got some good formulation, good products. I really like I placed my first order, received my first order. I love I like the foundation. I like this lipstick. It's oh my gosh, this is called the Always. I love it. And I have the other one that's this one. This is called this is the Jafra Beauty. This is the tint, that you put. And of course, I love the signature product. The
Royal
it's on
jelly?
my counter. It's on my counter. The lotion, the milk.
Royal jelly.
Yes, royal jelly. Oh my gosh. And I'm excited about my next order would be the Defy line. I heard from I was in California, Westlake, last month, and I heard from Janet Flores's guest that was there. She was there, and what convinced her was Defy. There was a powerful before and after picture, and I said, oh my gosh, I got excited. I'm gonna have to use that one, and I like the I don't have all the names memorized yet, but the one, the neck and neck tightening, I like that. As we get older, we need a whole lot of tightening here. But overall, I like the fragrance. The fragrances that I smelled in New Orleans. I haven't ordered any fragrance yet, but I like the ones that the new ones, especially the one, actually it's really the, what is it, sweetheart, what is that one, the one with the butterfly. I know it's for young people, but I really like that smell. And anyway, I'm gonna get into the fragrances, but yes, I like the royal jelly. Absolutely. So I did not even know this, that the royal jelly was based on that the that come from the bees, right? Because I
Correct.
remember seeing that on a ad where they're selling a skin product. They said this is what they make for the queen bee and all that. I go, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know Jaffa had it, back in 56.
Right.
you know.
Now
So
you
I
need
love
to
it.
now you need to get together with Bronwyn. I told you that. She could really guide you in placing your orders. Don't you
All
think,
right.
Darylee? You need to call Bronwyn
Absolutely.
and say, Bronwyn, you
Yeah.
have been recommended to me. Tell me what products should I order to get started on Jafra?
Yes.
Because
All
she
right.
is our guru. I've got a question here. Darylee, did you see the questions that are there?
No, I've just been looking at the participants just to make sure everybody's
Yeah,
being there. So,
I kind of really liked Chris's question here, and she asked what we have, what she plans on. I'm just looking here. It said here. Well, first of all, let's go ahead. Right there, we've got Chris. She says, when and how will Nell begin to communicate directly with the leader team? That's a good question, don't you think?
Yeah, so I do have hey Chris, thanks for that question. So actually I just got hold of um the list of the English market. Sometimes when you start with a company, there's this time, and of course the first 2 weeks I traveled, and so the third week I started to get into getting on my own login to be able to see all of that, reports and things like that. So right now I've got a lot of communication that I'm going to send a communication out for all of um the the team leaders, everybody in California, that I'm going to be there next week. So it's going to be that way. I've been on different calls. Most of you probably know Mentori team. I was on her call. Miss Lisa Washington, I was on her call. So I'm starting to get on all of these different calls to try to get to know the people, that I would serve, because that's who I'm a servant leader, and that's what I do. As I serve, the people here, and the people that are doing work for Jafra. So communication, of course, it's easy to communicate now more than ever. I'm easy to get hold of, email, phone call. I have, when I was in New Orleans, I gave everybody my cell phone. I'll be happy to give it here on the chat. you know um Let me type it in.
I,
And
I felt now that, I mean, I hope I'm right in my suggestion, but I felt like that Nell needs to join our WhatsApp teams so she
yeah,
can
thank you
jump
for
in.
sending me that.
Yeah, and I like the one that Dia is doing, which is the one that Lori was in. I felt like that she should be also belong to that one. Those are the two key ones. Am I correct? Write in the chat what you think. But I think she should be
um
involved and feel the heartbeat of the company. What do you think, Darylee?
yep, I think that's, yeah, absolutely, because you'll get a lot of ideas and a lot of feedback.
A lot of feedback, huh?
All right. Well, send me the invite. It's let me
It's
type
right
it
here in the
in.
chat. Take a look. Now, when you get done, we'll leave it there, but it's there. Yeah, I left you the invite, but I'll also send it to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, WhatsApp is not I'm just getting very familiar with it now. It's not something I was using before in my previous jobs. Even after Neolife, I worked for Sunrider, and I saw somebody on the chat actually joined Neolife a long time ago. But
Yeah.
Sunrider was the last company I was with, and so anyway, we weren't using WhatsApp, so I'm getting you familiar with WhatsApp now. And so, yeah, send me an invite, and I'd be happy to join. Um, Let me tell you though, I don't know a lot, a lot of your questions until I get really familiar with everything. I may have to fend it off because I want to get you an answer. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. And so I have no problem, finding out who should actually answer your question. It may not be me, but I'll help figure out who it should be. My commitment has always been to serve you and assist you in such a way that it does not stall you in completing a business transaction or moving forward with your business. There's some things that happen as you do your business every day that you're not going to need the corporate office to help you out, right? You're stuck, you don't know where that is, you're looking for things like that. And so I'd be happy to, hey, Nell, where is this promotion? Where is this stuff? You're trying to share Jafra with someone and you just need something on your fingertips. And so I'd be happy to do that. Of course, my life also consists of meetings and things like that, but I really try to respond. I always have my phone with me. I really try to respond as soon as I can. And, if I could, not being rude to the people I'm meeting with, I like to respond. What you need is really important to me. Now, when it comes to problems with orders and things like that, I really believe the best avenue would be the customer service team, because I don't have access to what they have access on. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Fixing orders, I got no access on all of that, right? I have no access to all of that. I have access to pull reports I have access to what a Jafra analyst would be like. For example, I want to see who are those that are within striking distance. If we have an incentive or if we have something who's in striking distance to the next level and stuff like that. I have access and an access to an analyst and to the wherever they pull that reports from. Those are the kind of things that I would have access on. I don't have access to how to fix an order. I didn't get my free shipping and all of that stuff. So those would be probably best served by the customer service team. One good thing with the customer service team, I learned about this obviously, is they are actually, well, you all know they're in Mexico, right? And so they don't have the holidays that we usually have, a holiday like Memorial Day or whatever. They don't have all of those kind of holidays there. So they're open longer than probably a US based customer service. So I like that about having our customer service there. So those are the things I don't have access on. So if you go by my route, I probably would take longer, because what I do is just pass it on to them when they have the complete access. And you also know how to access them. So, but anything else, what I'd like to do moving forward is, if there's anything, a trip, an incentive or something, is to really find out from the team leaders who in your team would like to participate. And, we could do a challenge. I like doing challenges, short-term challenges to qualify for something that we are offering in the near future. I like to do those kind of things, help you out, be a cheerleader, just kind of get you keep motivated, during the period of the challenge. I think challenges are good to do, because it actually either starts a good habit in us. If you run it for 90 days or 60 days, it starts even, usually a short challenge would be a month or 4 weeks. It usually brings out, some people develop good habits out of it that they could actually apply moving forward even after the challenge. But also it causes us to examine what we do, what works and what doesn't work. Most of the time I would, in coaching, I would say, are you actually having a clear idea of where your business is at? Do you actually look at the numbers? Because those are important, right? Where your business is at. You are all the CEO of your business. And if you talk to a lot of people that are CEOs, right? And you say, hey, how do you run your business? They're not going to say, oh, I just do mental, I just wing it.
Oh,
Nobody will say that, right?
Nell, if you would bring us together on Zoom meetings, I think you would find that just bringing us together, and we've got just incredible leaders with years and years of experience who really know the heartbeat of the business. And I think that if you would just bring us together and then we share ideas, and you
Yeah,
you
that
feed
would be
off of
rich.
that, if you feed off of that, just take and listen to what we're doing and then build on it, I think you'll find that you've got an amazing team of women. There, many of them are on this call
I
even.
don't doubt it. Yeah, I don't
And
doubt
I
it.
think that what we need is we need a platform where we can come together,
Mm-hmm.
not be told what we should be doing, but to have a platform where we can listen to each other and feed off of each other and say, okay, this is what the company's giving us. So let's see, what are we going to do with it? I think you can
Yes,
be very, very
absolutely.
successful in
Mm-hmm.
being the leader of the pack and just bringing us together and saying, what are we going to do to make this work? What are we going to
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's what my suggestion would be is
No, it's an
you've got
absolutely
the
great.
talent here.
Yeah.
You don't need to be the talent. You don't need to come up with the ideas. You need to just say, here's what the company's giving us. But we have not had a platform where we could come together. And
Mm.
basically, the company just comes out and gives us, this is what we're doing, which is good. We need that. But we
Mm-hmm.
don't have any place to go.
Mm-hmm.
And to come together and say, what are we going to do with this promotion that the company's given us?
Yeah, yeah.
That
Hey,
would be my
I'm
suggestion.
open. I'm, like I said, you're the expert. I'm not the expert. I am merely, here to serve, what would help you grow. So if we come up with an incentive or whatever it is that's working for you, hey, feel free to, let me know about it. I'm new. Obviously, I don't know everybody that's here on this call. I've met some. But if you have anything, I want you to know I'm very accessible. That phone number, my email, let me put it there. I mean, you can or when I get on those WhatsApp also. But I think the only reason sometimes the what really Jafra.com. My struggle with WhatsApp is this. In my WhatsApp, there's the sales team, there's the sales and communication, there's the marketing, and sometimes it gets so heavy with information. And if you're going to, give me a brilliant suggestion because you're the expert, I would probably like to get that on email so that it's just there that I could look at it, right? Instead of WhatsApp become like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Do you all agree? It could get really heavy with a lot of information, and so you have to scroll up and stuff like that. So to me, that's my struggle with WhatsApp, and finding and I really have to to make sure sometimes too because it is I want to make sure I'm answering to the right person because there's just so many in there, and so that's a struggle for me. I know it's a learning curve, but if there I don't want to lose any great ideas and suggestion you may have, so please feel free to call me or email me, and I'd be happy to hear it and um you know take notes on that and then pass it on, and update you with what's going on with that. So yes, absolutely, I'm open to that. I know you're the experts. I know you're the frontliners. You know what people are talking about. You know what people are buying. You know what people are wanting to see in a company like Jafra. So your expertise is really, really relied upon, by someone like me.
Okay.
Now, do you see that? I mean, will you have the ability to come around to different regions, different areas, and meet with us?
Yes, actually, that is part of the plan. So here. I'm so glad that one Isabel actually taught me that Chat GPT could actually map out a route. It's easy for them because they do regions, right? And their geography is a lot smaller than me, east to west coast. So we're going to do some mapping out of those things as far as like, um, doing a meeting. I actually have some, what do you call this? Um, reach out to some of the people already that Linda asked me to reach out. that I met in New Orleans, and Vicky I met through a video in New Orleans. I reached out to her. So we're gonna start from there and get some recommendation, from Miss Vicky and the other people in other regions. So that's kind of like the strategies to start. Where can we actually maximize? If I'm, for example, if I'm in Michigan area and there's a lot of there's Indiana is close to that one, or Ohio, you know what I mean? So could we cluster in, a certain area that's within driving distance? So that's kind of the plan. But yes, the plan is for me to go out there and actually meet all of you, help you with your recruiting teams. I was listening to Cheryl Sykes on the video today, and she does the tabletop. I love that when you're going to um, trade shows or stuff like that. That's wonderful. Um, I think it's a proven way to get out there to meet people. But if I go out to different places, obviously I do have a desired outcome, right? Of course, we want to have a desired outcome. We just don't want to go and have coffee. We should have some desired outcome. So the desired outcome is obviously to get new people in. So we could meet at a Denny's or a Panera or whatever. Maybe you have a function in your community that there's going to be a lot of new people that we can actually prospect and recruit. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at to do that. And you know what? That's how we did it in other companies as well. Is to if you're already growing your area, inviting people and stuff like that. Maybe it's an in-home. That's always so effective, so intimate, and really strong relationship are built on in-home meetings. Still do, and so those are the traditional way that we have built this business, and they always work only because, and I know there's other ways now, social media, all of the ways to sell products and stuff like that. But if you really want to build a business, a strong business, like Miss Vicky has a really strong business, that was all done one opportunity meeting, one in-home meeting at a time, and built some really strong connections. 30 years, I mean, combined here in this Zoom, we probably have over 100 or 200 years of Jafra expertise, right? Just here in this Zoom because of the years that you have. Now, that's so unique because that would not, you lasted, this relationship lasted this long. You still talk, you corroborate, you talk to each other. Strong relationship built because of Jafra. There's not just that doesn't happen in any kind of setting, right? In any kind of platform other than what you are now, which is in Jafra. So yes, absolutely would love to go out there, would love to go where people are, where we could actually prospect and recruit, because that is my overarching goal, is to grow the business by recruiting, prospecting, and selling products. So that's always the desired outcome for any meeting. I'd love to help you. Sometimes when you have a small meeting is good. Let's do 3 or 4 small meetings. I'll come there for a day or two, and we'll do 3 or 4 small meetings. We recruit people in those small meetings, or we could do a medium meeting. Maybe it's a community clubhouse. In your subdivision or stuff like that. Maybe it's at your church. Maybe it's at a library. They do a lot of library here. So things like that. But the desired outcome should always be, whenever we have a meeting or set up a meeting like that, just like Cheryl was talking about, in her video with Miss Vicky, the desired outcome is to really listen to people, connect with people, and have an opportunity for people to join your team. Join. Right? That's the desired outcome.
Okay. Helen wants to know, are you going to be going to the Jafra office tea monthly and be in California?
Yes, I'm actually there. I'm going. Linda wanted me to fulfill the meetings that were set there. So here's the thing. To this coming week, I'm going back there, and we are going to I think the English meeting is in the afternoon. But in July, we're gonna ship things out because we had to wait for the Spanish meeting to be over and then the English meeting. So what we're gonna do is actually we have a conference room inside the corporate office. The English meeting is not that big yet, and until we get as big as the Spanish market, they had about 37 when I was there the last time. But we can move the meeting. So instead of the afternoon, we could probably move it at 10 in the morning and move it in the corporate office. In there's a conference room there where we could actually accommodate 15 people in that room. So we will probably do a simultaneous English Spanish meeting at the same time. We may even do a morning and an afternoon. You know what I mean? So maybe a morning has 8 people, an afternoon, because I'm already there. Why not? Right? We could do a morning people can go in the morning. We could do an afternoon meeting like at 2 o'clock after the same, but we'll make it more intimate. We'll make it more. And the nice thing about that is, when you're on that side of the building in the corporate office, we can get a lot of sample products that we could test and stuff. If you bring in new people, that's going to be the vibe in that small conference room where they can actually touch, feel products, a whole lot of them. It's a whole lot easier to convince them when they're touching everything and putting everything on. I really believe in that. So those what's coming in July. That's what it's going to be. But I'll be there next week. We're going to have one meeting in the afternoon because that's already been posted. But July, we're going to crank it up.
Okay, there's just I think you answered one of the questions about how do you want us to grow, or what do you envision as far as growing? I think you kind of answered that. And then just how do we connect with the younger market? And maybe that's another conversation for another day. But
well, actually, if you look at the statistics, I could share with you all, another time, obviously. But the Gen Z market, if you look at their demographics and what they're looking for, you could just say Jafra, Jafra, Jafra. They're looking for an opportunity like this. The millennials, the Gen Z millennials, they don't want to be tied into a hold on 1 second. I actually have it here on my file because I did a research on this. This is what their mindset are, the Gen Z. Okay. They like freedom and flexibility. They want unlimited income potential. That's why everybody is on TikTok and all that, because that's fast money for them. And they don't have college education, but if they could be a one-hit wonder and then they make all their money, they like things like that, unlimited income potential. They want a global business opportunities because they want to be nomads. They want to be a citizen, a global citizen. They want to go, in different parts of the country. And you know what? We have a presence in Mexico, in stuff. And so, but not only that, but they also want to be able to live somewhere and still do their business. You know what I mean? So they're basically they want a portable business. And of course, they want low barrier to entry because most of them are young. They haven't inherited a big inheritance or things like that. And of course, they do believe in the tax benefits of owning their own business. So here's what their key characteristics is, and this is all. I've done this research actually back in Sunrider. The demographics of their distributors, their independent business owners are really, if you look at the average age, is about in their 60s, 64, 65. So that needs to be moved in the US. So the key characteristics of the Gen Z and millennials are here. The Gen Z are born 1997 to 2012. Millennials are 1981, 1996. They're 29 to 30 to 43 years old. The other one's 18 to 28. They value freedom and flexibility. They prioritize their health, fitness, wellness, and looking beautiful. They want to look beautiful all the time. They're very tech savvy, social media driven. They seek careers that align with their passions and values, and they seek adventure. They want adventure. And so when you have a portable business like Jafra, you're all in no they don't like to age. They don't, they are all about anti-aging, staying young, And so, if you look at all their characteristics, you could easily see, Jafra could fit what they're looking for, a portable business. They want to be able to make a good income and they want to be able to live anywhere and do this business, and they want to have the true freedom and flexibility. They don't want to be tied into the brick and mortar jobs that their parents have. And so, are we aligned? Are we good? Do we have something to offer? Absolutely. The beauty industry is going to go from 134 billion um, to this year, it's going to grow to 154 billion. That's a projection, billion. And so, if you look at the big pie of the beauty industry, which we are in, if you just take a sliver of that pie, can you imagine how much business that would be? Because 154, 53, 54 billion is a projected income or projected for the beauty industry this year. So we are well positioned. Our products are well positioned. Our opportunity are well positioned. We are well positioned for what the market is um, craving right now, which is health, beauty. They want anti-aging. They want to look good, and so that's why it's a big. That's how much it will be for this year, and so we're very very much aligned with that. As far as trends are concerned, and so we're positioned for that. So we just need to position ourselves out there because they're looking for you. They're looking for us. And so that mindset that, especially if you've been in this business a long time, it's so easy to think, like I talk to everybody, but really there's a lot of people out there we haven't talked to. So you are very well positioned for growth, very well positioned for an explosion because this industry is growing so what do you call exponentially, and it's so amazing and exciting to be part of it.
Thank you. Honestly, Nell, this has been, right, Darylee, this has been very, very enlightening.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
Oh,
and
my pleasure.
we really, really appreciate your being on. We are past the hour, but what we'll probably do is we will have you on once a month. We bring you on and tell us
I
what
would love
you're
that.
doing. Yeah, I
Hey, I
love it
would
too.
love
We
that.
we want you to connect. We want to
We
give you
do.
every
Thank you for
opportunity
helping me.
to connect and again, I because of the fact that um communication is everything. And we've kind of been
Yes.
left out of the loop a little bit because we have not been really informed. We feel a bit left out, and also culturally, we appreciate the fact that you speak beautiful English and that
Oh,
we can understand you. And that's going to be a really great way for because what
thank
happens,
you.
and you're going to see this as you go to the convention and everything, you will see that the English market struggles. We struggle because we are, so outnumbered, and uh,
Yeah.
and you make sure that they keep
We're
us
gonna change
separate.
that, right, Miss Vicky? We're gonna
Yes,
change that.
and you've got to make sure that you fight for us, that when
Oh,
we go to
yes.
convention, you've got to make sure that they let you have your English meeting because we've got to have a place where we can go and be able to talk in our culture. But again,
Yes.
it's
Mhm.
it's it's changing. Thank you, Nell. And I
Oh,
like
my
to make the
pleasure. I look forward to next month. All right. Let
Yes,
me know when you
next
want me to
month
be
we
on.
will absolutely be in touch with you all the time. And
Please.
I also would say because WhatsApp is so immersed with us in the English market, I don't know about I don't think email is going to do it because you can't see what everybody is saying. And that's what's the beauty of this is that when somebody needs an idea or whatever, everybody feeds into it. It
Hmm.
allows a lot of people and email just doesn't do that, does not allow the opportunity for people to come in and help other people. So
I get it. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
think if you go to AI and you ask a chat to help you learn WhatsApp, you're going to be able to learn it very well. That's our best friend. We are all
Oh, yeah.
AI.
I don't
We're
even
all
have a
chat
chat
girls.
GPT account, to be honest with you. I'm actually working on my son that lives here. He's an AI expert.
Oh, there you
And
go.
so he said, Mom, if this is, he sent me something to learn. I actually like to be certified. I really do. And so he said, I said, but who do you pick? And so he's guiding me through all of that. So
Oh,
yes,
good.
I
'Cause
do have someone.
we're chat girls. We are
I'm gonna have to
loving. Yeah.
I will open a chat GPT account. I did ask him about what's the best one for me because my daughter in California, she works for Strava, which is a app company for sports, and she uses Claude. But she said
Mm.
I use it a lot for Excel and all that. So I said, oh my gosh. So, I mean, between the two of them, they're gonna get
Claude is
me
good
on track.
too. Claude
Mhm.
is a very, very good. Doesn't matter what you use, but let me tell you, it's going to help you a lot. And you can ask Claude or Chad, how do I set up a team on WhatsApp
This
or
is
whatever?
Debbie.
How do I move around? And it'll tell you. All right,
Thanks for
Darylee.
the
Well,
encouragement, Debbie. Thank you, everyone. I
thank
so
you.
appreciate. This is an honor for me. I love. You are the pillars. A lot of you are the pillars of Jaffa. I never take that lightly, Miss Vicky. You are. And I really. I'm a person that's so big on honor, and it's a lost virtue, right, Miss Vicky?
That's it. Yeah.
It's a lost virtue in a lot of the society right now. They don't even know what honor really means, but I do believe in it. It's a core value of mine. So I do honor your contribution. I do honor your ideas and all of that stuff. So I want to let you know that I'm big on honor. You are the pillars of this company. I couldn't even have jumped in last month if you did not stick with it. You did not continue through the ups and downs. So you're the strength and the strong pillar of this organization. And so thank you so much for being
Well,
there. Thank you for not
I,
giving up.
I want to tell you, you've got some very heavy hitters on here, not just me, but you've
I'm
got
so
Helen Wells
happy.
and Sarah Heppel, and Janine Shell. I mean, we've got so many people here. Debbie England, all of them. I just look at all of them that are here on tonight. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Oh,
All
Bronwyn's here.
right.
Bronwyn,
Yeah.
we need to have you get a hold of Miss Nell and tell her what products she needs to be using. There she is,
Please.
right there. Okay. And of course, she's saying we
Thank you
need.
so much. I need all the help. And
Yeah,
thank you
I'm telling you,
again.
Bronwyn, you go ahead and call Nell. I've got her phone number, everything.
I put
She
it
wants
there.
to hear from you. Nell, don't try to order products on your own. You got to have
Mm-mm.
Bronwyn. But I mean, really, Helen Wells, over 55 years in the company. I mean, you've got Wiley. I've got wonderful people that are here. Chris, they all want to help you. They want to see you succeed. And again, we thank you for
I
taking us
appreciate it.
on. Thank you
All
for
right.
taking us on. Thank you all. All
All
right.
right.
All
Thank you so
right.
much. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. And I'll see you next month.
All right. And I'm
All
going to
right. Bye
end the
bye.
recording. Going to over here and thank you, Miss Darylee, for being our host tonight. Appreciate it so
You're
much.
welcome.
You always do a great job. Okay, hold on. Let's see what we got here. We have got to stop the recording. So I don't know why I'm having such a hard time doing that in the recording. Hmm. I don't want to hit the wrong thing. There we go. There we go. I think I ended. Oh, nope. There we go.